So Vengeance is Mine, 1979 Japanese film directed by the great Japanese director Shohei Imamura, starring Ken Ogata. I'm not a fan of a lot of Japanese films. I just find it a little bit of a daunting from a cultural standpoint. The cultural divide between the East and the West is sometimes so big that I find that I have problems getting into Japanese film and understanding it. But Vengeance is Mine is over such a great film. It was one of those movies that just kind of crossed the barriers, and it was a relatively big hit in the art house scenes of the 1980s. Within the recent years, it's been re-released in the UK by Masters of Cinema on DVD and Blu-ray, and Criterion on DVD Blu-ray. There's an older Criterion Laserdisc that I actually bought. It was for a long time, that was the first Laserdisc I had bought in many years, the Criterion box set. It has this box set of Vengeance is Mine. And it's one of the only Criterion Laserdiscs that, as far as I know, that has nudity on the cover. It has a naked woman laying down. That's one of the. I have to tell you, that was one of the reasons that swayed me towards buying it. I was like, wow, this seems kind of taboo. I always was my dream to always somehow get Shohei Imamura to like sign my Laserdisc cover. I don't know, that sounded really immature. It was Shohei, but that dream was lost a few years ago when Shohei Imamura died. But I always thought I would somehow there might be a funny story in trying to make that happen. But Vengeance is Mine, a Japanese serial killer movie. There's not too many Asian serial killer movies. There's a few, like I Saw the Devil or whatever. They're usually really kind of, theatrical or funny, but there's not necessarily anything funny in Vengeance is Mine. Vengeance is Mine is a very fact-based, almost like the Japanese In Cold Blood, in the sense that this is a film based on a real story of a real serial killer slash thief who had quite a run of basically, he was this con artist who ran across the countryside killing people and stealing their stuff, was eventually caught and murdered, I believe, or executed, hanged. I believe he was hung. I don't remember. But he was tried and convicted, and so Shohei Imamura, who is a Japanese filmmaker who came out of the Japanese New Wave of the 1960s, much like the French New Wave. There was this Japanese New Wave of these directors like Nagase Oshima and Shohei Imamura, and these people who were making different types of films in edgy, modern types of films. This stuff was happening all over the globe with people like Nick Cassavetes and Ken Russell and Truffaut and all from in the UK and Paris and Germany. Everybody, there was always these guys making these new interesting films about different parts of society and the world and different people and people who aren't necessarily heroes. And so Vengeance is Mine is one of those stories. It's a long film. It's 140 minutes. That Criterion Laserdisc was like it's in CV, so it's like 3 or 4 discs. It's a hefty box, and there's nothing special about it. There's no special features at all. The special feature is CAV, so you can do frame by frame. In the age of DVD and Blu-ray, that's not really a special feature. But in the age of Criterion, the fact that it was CAV, that it had slightly better video quality than CLV, which is the long form play, which could give you about an hour aside. CAV could only give you about 30 minutes aside, but you could do, stop motion, different stuff. So, yeah. But Vengeance is Mine. But again, the fact it was a big box. I bought it at Amoeba in Los Angeles, and it was just this box, and it had that cover, that lurid art. I mean, Nagase Oshima, had his, In the Realm of the Senses, which is a big, sensation. And Shohei Imamura made a lot of other films, made a lot of gangster films, made a lot of films about people on the edges of society, the underdogs, the people that you don't necessarily think about making a film about. And Ken Ogata, who eventually became played in Paul Schrader's Mishima, became Mishima in that film. And I think Paul Schrader was, with his brother Leonard, was a fan of Japanese culture, and I think that's how they got Ken Ogata from, Vengeance is Mine, because he did a fearless performance in this. And there was a lot of actors who were turned down Paul Schrader in Mishima, and Ken Ogata, to his credit, did not turn him down. He was a fearless actor. Again, Ken Ogata, I believe, has passed away for a few years here. And he just goes full force into this unrepentant guy who we follow him throughout the rest of his life. At the very beginning of the film, we see the policeman taking him away and driving him down this snowy mountain road toward his imprisonment and later execution. And then we flash back to him getting just about to get caught, and then we flash back to the very beginning of his life, his relationship with his father, and the Vengeance is Mine in the title comes from the fact that his family are Christians, in a Shinto culture of Japan, and so they are ostracized. Yes, Christians in Japan are ostracized group, and so that's Vengeance is Mine, saith the Lord. That is kind of again kind of as a callback to the religious background of his family, and another thing that's bubbling in the surface. I need to watch this film again. It's just such a great movie. You get more about it, and you just see his spree of terror that is just starts on. It's. I love the way Imamura and Ogata portray this guy as not some kind of master villain, just this very broken character who is a con artist, a thief, and it's probably one of the greatest films about a con artist. Who is just one woman after another. He just uses these people and throws them out. And it's a great serial killer. It's probably one of the best serial killer films. Oh my God, great, better than Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Oh yeah, I would say so, absolutely. Now, as I said, released by Criterion on Laserdisc, which had no special features but a really nice box and some nudity on the cover. And then later released on a DVD and now a Blu-ray. I think the most interesting version is the UK Masters of Cinema, which has a little intro by Alex Cox, and then it has this incredible audio commentary by Tony Raines, which I don't think made it to the Criterion Blu-ray and DVD, which is a bloody shame. I mean, the movie it's just watching, it's one of those commentaries like you will learn about Japanese film and the director. Even if you don't give a damn about this movie, you'll come away with this, after listening to this commentary, with a greater understanding of this type of film. It's one of those commentaries that's just great. That's incredible. That really struck me. I haven't listened to the commentary in a couple of years, but it really struck me as a very good. If you're a commentary buff, and especially if you like foreign film commentaries, which can run either hot or cold. I think foreign film commentaries can either be like a scholar who is pontificating on their own personal ideas and theories, and then trying to shove them into this foreign film, and not even really paying attention to what's going on in the film, asking very dumb, simple questions that anyone with a brain could figure out. I mean, whether you're speaking in French or German or Japanese or English, 2 and 2 is 4. Why does a character turn on the light switch? Well, they turn on the light switch so we can see what's going on in the scene. I mean, just basic, logic things that it seems like some of these critical scholar commentaries just go straight over their head. Tony Raines' commentary is the informed, scholarly, Tim Lucas-esque commentary that we know and love and that we want and that we deserve. Another one that comes to mind immediately and strikes me, and that it changed the way I saw film, was Peter Bondinello's commentary on Rome Open City in the original Criterion Laserdisc release. That was another film that, it was a film, an Italian film, a black and white, scratchy, blurry Italian film that I could barely understand as a 14, 15-year-old watching. I think I must have been, or maybe even a little bit younger when I first saw that. But then put on the commentary, and suddenly the whole world of Italian film opened to me when I have a guy explaining it to me. It's like sitting in with a great scholar, film scholar, while he's giving you a class on foreign film. That's what a good commentary track can do, and I think you might be surprised and delighted if you were able to track down that Tony Raines commentary on Vengeance Is Mine, because I think it had some good stuff in it. Though there are really no easy answers in this really terrible story of this murderer, serial killer type of guy. I don't know. I guess he's not a serial killer. He's more of a spree killer. You know, he's more of the killer of chance. You know. So anyway, great, interesting Japanese films. You don't get too many serious Japanese docudramas, but Vengeance Is Mine is definitely one.